I'm behind on my ATC swaps, so today I'm going to create one master board for 2 sets of ATCs, and I'm going to show you how I did it. Hi, I'm Christine, the artist behind Darlyssa Designs, and I'm happy you're here. Welcome. Today I am using watercolor to cover this page. I put a little bit of everything in here, but I probably will not use everything. I got this on clearance a long time ago, so I don't know if they sell this on Amazon. Probably not, but you probably don't want to use the best brand on this anyway, because, and I love this because it came with a little tray, because we're just creating a background today for some ATC cards. I have 2 ATC challenges that I last month and this month. So I'm just going to go in and start putting little blobs of color everywhere. This paper is resisting it a little bit. But it does not matter what you use at all for this project, because we're just creating. Let me drop a couple of little drops in there. Ooh, that's a pretty green. Yeah, so this paper's taken a minute to soak up the paint. That's okay. So my challenges, one is wings. Things with wings. I'm going to put a little water down here. And I really don't know what the other one is, but since it's summer, I'm going to stick with the light airy theme. Ooh. Let's put a little more. And I'm just going to cover the whole thing in a layer of color, and I'll let it dry, and then I'll come back, and I really like this. Let's do a couple drops here and see. Oh yeah, I like that. So, and these brushes are just cheap little brushes that I got from Amazon. I'm just going to dip my brush in water and spread that around a little bit. Use up what's on my brush. I like it. Let's do a little, oh, what's this? Oh, burnt sienna. Okay, as long as we're doing these colors, might as well add a little more. Because it seems to blend well. And I think the blue is going to look nice over here. Pretty. So far, so good. Let's put some blue on the outside of the green and let that kind of mix in. You could put some salt on here if you wanted to create the little speckles. Right now, I'm not going to worry about any of the texture. I'm just going to get this on here just so that there's no white left. And then I'll go back and wait till you see what I'm doing next. Let me get a little green. And I'm just going to, I don't think I want to mix that too much. It might be a little muddy. But I'm just going to go in and make sure that there's no white showing. And then just put in a few little drops here and there so it'll spread out as it dries. I love watching it. So I'll let I like watching it follow that water and blend. So I'm going to let some of it get really light. Let me put a little green in there. And some of it I will let it be really bright and pretty. I'll get this wet here. Let's do a little more of this yellow ochre over here. Ooh, I got way too much, but that's okay. It'll be nice and bright. We'll put some over here next to this. Now this is all dry now, so. Now let's bring a little of that down without adding. I think it's raining outside again. Boy, do we need the rain. Okay. I'm going to add a little more blue in here. Let's do this darker blue. I'm hoping this turns green. If not, we'll just put green in there. So this morning I worked on my book a little bit. I'm on chapter 12 of my edits. I'm excited to get that up on Kindle first, and then I'll do the paperback version. I don't know how to do it yet. That's the next step, learning how to format. But it's a fun process. I'm really enjoying it, and I can't wait to see what you guys think about my book. If you like coastal, I guess, suspense, I really like what's happening here. That's pretty. It's got a little bit of everything. Romance, suspense, a tiny bit of sci-fi, not much. However, if you like that kind of thing, one of the books in the series will be a little sci-fi heavy. If you don't like that kind of thing, it won't really ruin your experience of the series. But for those of you who do, it will add a little flavor. I'm going to turn this around and work on this corner now. Yeah, a little romance, a little suspense. It's just a story that I created a long time ago. Well, not really. It's a story I created. We did an art project in school, and I've mentioned this before, but in case you haven't seen that video, and we had to create an alternative home, something that has not been done or seen yet. And I loved the ocean. At the time, I lived in Alabama, and my aunt and uncle lived in Florida, and I just remember going to Florida for the first time. I believe they lived around Orlando, because later I moved in with my aunt and uncle, and they lived in Maitland. And I just remember the first time going to my aunt and uncle's house and smelling the oranges were on the trees, and smelling the ocean. And even though they lived in Orlando, I could smell the ocean. I don't know, maybe it was brackish water in the area, so you could smell a little bit of that salt in I don't know, I just remember that. Maybe it's in my head, but I loved it. So I was obsessed with Florida and the ocean and all of that. So I tried to splatter a little bit, but it kind of didn't really work out the way I wanted it to. I could see what some alcohol, let's just try and put a little alcohol in. Oh yeah. Okay, we're gonna have to do more of that. I don't want to do too much. I just want a little texture in there, which I wasn't going to do now, but might as well, right? And I really love this area, so I'm going to do more. I'm going to do more because I don't like that. And maybe I'll change my mind later, but right now I'm just kind of feeling this green and blue. It's going to get muddy. Okay, let's not touch that. I'm going to go around this and just let that dry. Let me get some blue in here. And I'm going to bring that in. I'll let it mix a little. So I created an underwater home. And then throughout the years, I wanted to write a story about it, but I'm not really a writer. I have a vivid imagination, so I kind of feel like even though it's probably very difficult to learn to be a really good writer, but I also feel like if you've got a good imagination, you know, the learning how to write can happen if you're good at learning. And I love to learn, so I have the imagination part down. Thank goodness for Word, because I'm somewhat of a decent speller, but punctuation, and I'm pretty good with grammar, but it definitely helps to have spell and grammar check. So I think that we're very fortunate in this day and age to have all of that. And there's a couple of times where I've gotten stuck, and I did go in and I try and not use AI much, but it is great for when you get stuck on something to go ask for an opinion and an explanation. So I did not understand a few things as I went along, and that helped. It's like having a professor there to answer your questions as you write. So that was fun, and I really enjoyed the process. I got obsessed with it, and for 3 days, that's all I did was just write. And I stopped a little bit and part of the problem I had in the past was keeping the storyline straight and getting all the details accurate. So you really have to, and I learned that's called a story Bible. So that made teal. I like that. Let me take some of that from there and put it here. That's beautiful. So it's called a story Bible. So I stopped a couple chapters in and went back and just did a whole outline and took each piece of the story and figured out where it was going to go, and then put all the details that I needed to remember in those timelines. And wow, did that help so much, because you can write and then forget what you wrote about certain things, at least for me. And that really helped a lot. So I had these running almost like bullet lists of each character and where it was in the story. And as I wrote each chapter, I would update each one of those so that as I was writing, I would have a reference instead of having to go back and look everywhere to find, did I mention this name yet? Or especially when you have problems with brain fog, it makes it very difficult to write something as detailed as a novel. So I learned a lot about organization. And I think those skills will be useful in other things as well. So, all right, now I'm just going back over the areas where it seems like it needs a little more color. And just put in some more color where I want some bright areas. And maybe let it spread out a little bit. I think I want a little more green in here. So let's do that. I'll put a little here. Let's do, I like that. Let's do a little green in here. Maybe a little yellow in here, just to change that green up a little bit. Oh, we need some more green over here. And maybe a little blue. Let's connect that yellow. I'm just staying away from these areas because I don't want it to mix with that brown. And this brown, I don't really know what I'm going to do with this. Let's try a little bright red in this brown and see what happens. Now, my paper's not taped down, so it probably would be better if it were taped down flat, but this paper is buckling a lot, but I kind of like this texture that it's leaving in here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of, see the speckled, you know? I don't mind that. And like I said, any paper is going to work, but they're all going to do something different. So to me, I'm using up all this paper that I got, and it's going to give, I don't know what I'm going to end up each time, what I'm going to end up with. And that's part of the fun for me. And it's not like I'm trying to create a piece of art where I need a specific effect. I just want to create something cool that will be a cool background. And you know me, I'm going to just keep playing with it until I like it. And then I'll cut it up. Now, the fun thing about today is, and I'll show it to you in a few minutes, last time we went out of town, I found a box of pastels, oil pastels that only were slightly used. So there's still, most of them have not been touched. Looks like somebody did one piece of art and decided, okay, that's not for me. And so I grabbed them, and I haven't used oil pastels since I was in school, since probably, well, I probably used them in art school a little bit. I don't remember. I remember what it feels like to use them. I remember how smooth they go on the paper, but I don't really remember how to use them. So this will be an experiment, and I've been dying to do them. And I'm so far behind on my ATCs. I'm just throwing down some alcohol now on these wet spots. And I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to go back with some acrylic paint and go over some of the muddy areas. But I think this is kind of cool for a first layer. So yeah, anyway, so the pastels are going to be an experiment for me today. So let me let this dry, and I'm going to clean up a little bit, put my watercolors away, and I will come back for another layer. Okay, so I just grabbed a couple of small stencils, and I want to add a little more pastel to this. So I'm just going to take my little blender thing here. And just go in and add little hints of flowers. Around. Let's do some pink. I'm going to go where I didn't like these areas. Yeah. And it doesn't really matter what ends up showing because this is all going to get layered over. Oh, now it's raining. Let's see if we blend this pink and this blue. We get a pretty kind of purpley. Let me do some of these. And as you can see, it's a little bit okay, that gave me a little, now it's getting a little kind of mauve-y. Ooh, thunder. I love the thunder. Let me do a little, I'm going to add a little darker blue into this area. Just added a little of this. Let's do some blue in here. So you see, it does not have to be perfect because we're going to go over this. It's just adding more. No, I know it looks crazy right now. You will see. Trust the process. I really think it would be cool if I did a little bit of white. So let me wipe these off, and I'm going to put a little white in here, which is not going to be bright white because I'm not going to go clean my brush. I'm just going to wet it and wipe it off, and it will mix a little bit. But ooh, look how pretty that is. Okay, let's try and do a little white, which I'm thinking would be cool when I get my pens to maybe outline some of that. Cool. Very cool. Remember, these are going to be cut up into ATCs. I think that's enough. I want to add maybe one more little spot up here. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay, so you could see, all I did was just put a little bit of texture in there. I mean, you can't go wrong, and you don't have to have any talent to do that. You know what I mean? Just do it. Not to say that this is a masterpiece. It's not. You still have to stick around to the end to see what happens with this. But I think that's going to be really cool, broken up into cards. I'm just using up all my paint now. I'm not even paying attention to the color that it's making. It's kind of muddy, but not really. And just filling up the spaces. Very cool. Okay, I like it all dry. And before I take my pastels out, I'm gonna keep it light. I'm gonna use this white pen. And I was thinking about just doing some creative marks, just lines and dots in a few sections. Whoa! Okay, or big globs of white paint. We could do that too, if that's where you want to go. Yeah, okay. So instead of trying to delete our mistake, I'm going to use it to make these really bright. And we'll just leave that there. And then I was thinking I would like to just play around. Now, see, there we go again. So in my attempt to try and make these white lines really bright, I have made a mess. But now I'm going to start doing that on purpose in a few spots. Because why not? Well, I really didn't mean to do it that time, but I did. So I guess it's meant to be, huh? We'll just go with it. Now there'll be a giant white spot there. Let's do some little flowers. Yeah, this paper does not want to take this white. So I'm thinking I don't know why. Usually I don't have a problem. I guess it's this paper. Yeah, this white pen is not going to work. So let's go straight to put some golden. So this will affect my dry time here a little bit, but I really wanted some white in here to brighten it up a little bit. And I'm just going to take a regular old, nothing special paintbrush. So I'm just going to take this white because it is very bright. Yes, that's better. So, and then I'm just going to go through and make some marks. Just some, I might do, and I'm going to spray a little water here so it's a little thinner, and then the tip of my brush will stay a little more pointy. And let's just do some circles in some boring spots here because there's not much going on there. So anywhere I don't have anything, I'm just gonna, and then later I can go back in with a pen and this will give me some great spot. And I love that that alcohol made that little, when I was doing the alcohol, it made that little perfect little ring. Yeah, so this will give me a nice little area to go in and do little dots around these rings if I want to. There's part of that. And let's do some dots here. I love it. And I'll go where this, there we go, where it's not watered down as much. I could get out my wide tooth comb and do some dots. I like those circles. Let's do some more circles because they're fun. And I think when I cut the paper down to 3.5 by 2.5. You know, some of it will show and some of it won't. By that, I mean when I cut them apart, you know, I might cut through some of the circles. So half of the circle will be on one card and half on another, which is fun. I wanted to do a flower. Where did I do that? I did it right here, but it didn't show up. Yeah, fun spring flowers. Here, I'll do it here because spring. Is it summer yet? Ah, I just went over the circle. Oh well. Oh well. That one didn't show up. So yeah, when they dry, you can go back over it again to make them brighter. It is soaking into this paper. This paper is really weird. So if you don't like the effects that you're getting, just change the type of paper that you're using, because it definitely makes a difference. I wonder, see how easy it is to do a flower? So easy. I like 5 or 6 petals. I'm going to go back over a couple of these spots. And I'm going to try not to get too much texture in here because I'm going to go over it with the pastel sticks or crayons, whatever you like to call them. Yeah. Let's do a circle right here. Anywhere I think it needs to be lightened up a bit. This came out cool because it looks like there's already outlines in that. Can you see it? It looks like it's already been outlined. Okay. Let's speed this up a bit so we can get to the next phase. So what I'll do is I will finish doing these fun little lines here. And I will go work on another chapter of my book while this dries. And then I'll come back and we'll do some pastels. Yes, yes, yes. Now this is that gold paint that's super thinned out and it's really hard to paint with, but it is great for getting shimmer on everything. Let's see. Let's just do this. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, so sometimes you start doing one thing and you end up doing another. I kind of like that. Just little gold. Whoops. Swatches. All right. Okay, so I'm definitely going to end up putting gold in here somewhere later because I like it. Let me go in and brush it. It almost disappears, but it leaves that little bit of a gold shimmer, and you can still see what's underneath. There's a little white in here too, so it's lightening it up. So let me just go find some ugly spots and just add a layer. Okay, we accidentally did something, which I think is cool. I'm super excited about this. And as you can see, it was $5.99, and I think we even got it for less than that at a thrift store in North Florida. And I'm so excited. Look how beautiful. I almost don't want to touch them, but you see there's only a few here. So there were some reds and a couple of yellows, and those are the only ones that have been used in this lavender. So, okay, I see two right away that I have to grab. Yes, they're oily. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna go. Oh, it's really bright and pretty. Oh, wow. I like that. So I'm just gonna go in and, well, you don't even really need that much. I don't want it to be too thick because then it'll take forever to set up. Oh, wow. So fun. Okay, let's do some blue. Let's try this blue. Here, well, I already did lines there. Let's see. Maybe, I wonder how well it'll show up here. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm a fan of these for sure. Love it. This has a slightly Denise Love style, only she is way better than this and this than I am. I think I want to do some circles inside those circles. Yeah, if you have not watched Denise Love do these little masterboards, you should definitely go check out her channel. So that's a little more not really my style, but I'm just having fun here. And maybe I'm gonna have, okay, let me try. Ooh. That's cool. I don't think I'm gonna do a lot here, but potential for other projects. Let's see, what else? I'm gonna do dots. Yeah, I don't like the dots in the circle. So I'm just gonna, I'll save those two for some other colors because I'm gonna switch out some colors here in a minute. But I wonder which one would look better. Well, let's do both. We'll start out with the green on this side, and then I'll go over the green with the blue here, and then continue with the blue. That's fun. Okay, let me see what other colors look fun. Okay, which way did it go? Like that. Okay. I think I want to do some yellow, and I'm going to do some, I like all three of these actually. Let's see what color this turns out. I want to see if this shows up. Oh, it does. Wow. That's cool. Okay, let's try this color. Oh, cool. It's got a little red on it, but that's okay. Oh, look how fun that is on top of those white. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, which one did I not do yet? This one? Okay, I have a real light area here. I want to see if that... Wow. Oh my gosh, I have forgotten how bright these are. I mean, they just sit on top of everything with all that color. Oh, this is cool. Okay. I don't know if they sell those on Amazon, but I am definitely going to be checking it out because I'm going to use these a lot, and I'm sure that this little box is not going to last me very long because I'm super excited about this. I like that when you go through it, it makes a different color. So we got some greens going in there. This is a flower that was on the stencil. Let's do a bright yellow. Oh, it had stuff on it, so it's not so bright, but that's okay. Okay. What else? Let's get some of this color going up here. I don't know why I'm with the lines today. Okay. Let me put these back. And let's go with a really bright blue. I feel like this is a good one. I just want to do it because it's so bright. And what can I do? Let's do some long lines here. Ooh. Pretty. That's cool. What else? Let's get some long lines going somewhere else too. That's too close to that blue. I want to bring some blue over here. Over. Why is this so difficult right now? Okay, let's do some lines under these white lines. And I'll continue it. I want to smudge them a bit. Oh, that's fun. Can you tell I'm having fun? Yeah. I love trying new stuff. Okay, so I like this blue. I really like this blue, but I'm not like blown away by it in this piece. It's a beautiful blue though. Let's do that here. Ooh, you know what? I should do some green over here. Okay, let's find the green. Bright green. Here we go. Yeah. Ooh, pretty. It's not quite as bright as I wanted it. I want a spring green. Oh, there it is, way up there in the dark. There we go. This is better. Oh yeah. You see, I've got no real plan here. I'm just... Ooh, let's see if this green... That's a pretty green. I love the dots and the lines today. I should do some X's somewhere. I wonder... I just feel like if I do X's, these are too thick. Like I'd want them to be... I should have done some with the... Oh, here's a... I don't know if that green will be pretty on there. I feel like it needs more of an aqua. Let me get some in this neglected corner over here, but I don't think green would look good there either. Do we have a pink? Pretty shade if it were a lipstick. It might be crimson red. Geranium Lake. Okay, I can read it. Let's do dots around that flower. That's cool. Sort of. Not really, but okay. Oh, here's another flower. Oops. Now again, when I cut these, I'm not necessarily going to get the whole flower in there. Well, I did it. Lines next to lines. It has been raining all day today. Let's see. What else do I want to do? Circle. I like that it's bright enough where if you have a kind of muddy area, you're not adding more to it. It's sitting on top of there. So let me see. I want to try this blue. There's a lot of this in here, something like that, but I kind of want to spread it around a little bit. Maybe some up there. Maybe some down here. I like these colors together. Okay. Fun. Ooh, maybe we need some orange. I mean, we've got some going on there, but oh, I just realized my air conditioner was running. Sorry. Let's do that. That didn't do much. I like orange and aqua together. Let's see. I kind of like those white right there. But we could do some X's down here. It's not my favorite color combo. I like that kind of light like that. Let's make this more noticeable. There. Okay, I think that this is going to be a cool background for, I like those colors together too. A cool background for some cards. There's a lot going on here, but it's fun to just not think and just start putting stuff in. I don't know what to do with this area. Let's see if I can find a good purple. Oh yeah, this might work. Let's see. I'll get this flower here. Ooh, that's very bright. Here, we'll do one there. I could do this one. That kind of looks messy, but that's okay. We can always glue something over it. Now, I know that these are oil paints and I should let these dry for a while, but I'm gonna finish it anyway. And because there's not oil on every surface, when I cut it up, I'm gonna give it a few minutes, like a half an hour to dry. But when I cut it up, it's got enough of this paper that as long as I put the glue on the paper and not just on an oil line, then it'll stick. And plus, you see how this is such textured paper that it's not going on smoothly. Again, if you want a really smooth surface, you should use a not as textured paper. I should let this dry a little bit, but this is the fun part. So it's still very kind of soft and waxy, but I'm not going to get to these ATCs till later this week. So I don't want to wait to see what I have. So I'm going to go ahead and cut some of these. So what is it? 3.5 by 2.5. So 3.5. And then I'm going to go ahead and do all the 3.5s here. And hopefully I'm doing this, measuring this right and getting them straight so I don't have a bunch of scraps that I can't use for this. But I would use them for something else anyway, so No worries. Three and a half. And I'm not, you can go, you know, I have a, so I have this little template, and I could go through and pick spots, but, ooh, that one's cool. But I'm not going to do that with this one. I'm just slicing it up to get as many out of this paper as I can. And then I'll pick the ones out that I really like. And then the rest I'll just keep and add something to them later and use for something else. So this will probably become bookmarks or maybe smaller tags. So I could go in and look and see if there's some cool tags that I want to use. That's kind of cool. But we'll set this aside. And now I have all of these that I can cut down into ATC cards. So let me do that. Now it's going to be 2.5. And this paper is not super thick, so I will have to glue a back onto this. I could do this down here. As long as it's lined up. This might be really pretty. Ooh, look at that one. That's cool. Okay, I'm going to go cut all of these and come back and show you what I have. Okay, I ended up with, now I would have ended up with more, but I accidentally cut at 3 inches instead of 2.5. So I ended up with a few pieces that I can use as tags or something. This one is especially cool. I like this one. And then I have these little pieces that I can use for something. Bright, colorful, pretty. And I am, yes, getting a little bit, but I'm not worried because these are going to be dried up by the time I need to use them. So let's see, 1, 2, this one's really cool. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And like I said, I'm not really, I normally wouldn't just do these flowers, but look how cool that card came out. Cool. Now I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That one's pretty. 13. This one too. 14, 15. Cool. 16, 17, 18. Okay, my hands aren't working. 19, 20. This looks kind of like a beehive and some bees. 21. That's cool. 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. So I really love these, and I would have had 27, 28, 29, 30, which would have been perfect because I usually like to do about 15 per set, but okay. It is what it is, and sometimes these little pieces turn out to be the best project. So I will let these, I'm going to lay these out so that this wax can harden up a little bit. It's always going to stay a little bit waxy, is what I read, and if I remember correctly, but I'm going to leave these sitting out for a couple of days so that I can go back in and then add. So you see, I'm not worried about the glue because there's all this space I can glue stuff. And even if I glue over here, all of this is not going to affect. I'll just glue there. And hopefully it won't come through the paper. That'll be an experiment. We'll have to see. So I'll let these dry and we'll come back to them. And of course, I'm going to share the process, or at least the finished product, when they're done. So I hope that you enjoyed that little project, and I hope that you'll try to Play around with the masterboard. You see, you don't have to do anything special. Just put colors on the page and shapes and texture and marks and whatever you feel like doing. And when you cut it up, some of them are teeny tiny little masterpieces. So there you go. If you like this video, like and subscribe. I'll put everything that I used in the description below, and I hope you have a really fun and super crafty and creative week. Thanks for watching.